action news. Now, your table is ready. Join 13ABC's Jeff Smith with the decision makers of Northwest Ohio and Southeast Michigan. This is the Roundtable.
Hi there, happy holidays to you. Good Sunday afternoon. We appreciate you joining us here on the Roundtable program. Okay, so Thanksgiving's in the rearview mirror, and we have got a shortened time span as far as when Christmas comes up this year because of a late Thanksgiving. So already you're in that mindset of going out there and buying up some of those great holiday gifts. And once again this year, we're talking gadgets and what is available to you from an electronic perspective. We're going to tell you about how the Toledo-Lucas County Public Library is walking you through some of these new things coming up in our second segment. But first, wanted, if I get it out quickly, wanted to introduce to you Tracy Montry. She is joining us. She is the manager of the audiovisual department here at the Toledo-Lucas County Public Library downtown. Tracy, good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Thanks for being here. We're going to talk a little bit about those gadgets in our second segment today. But before we go on to that topic, I wanted to kind of touch off and let our audience know the discussion that's happening right now here in the state of Ohio. We're talking technology and what the library system is trying to bring to the masses, really, in ebooks and e-material out there. What is the battle that's brewing? I mean, that may be dramatic to use the battle brewing, but exactly what's the library trying to do for folks?
Well, you know, part of our commitment at the Toledo-Lucas County Public Library is to provide materials in digital and print content to our users and provide the broadest spectrum of content to all interests. And one of the things that's happening in the digital realm is that the publishers maybe are having a hard time understanding our mission. Yeah. And that the fact that some users might go ahead and purchase an ebook, let's say for example, but not everyone wants to buy everything or can. Yeah. So one of the discussions that's happening throughout Ohio and all the public libraries, including Toledo, and it's gone down to Columbus, is asking legislators to take a closer look at what's happening. Because one of the things that's occurring is newer books like Dr. Sleep by Stephen King, for example, is not being sold to public libraries as an ebook. Hasn't
there always been, and I'm going to read, let me do this first. Let me read some of the resolution that's before the state right now. This is a concurrent resolution before the state, and it reads, and this is legalese, but bear with me, folks, you'll get the gist of it. Whereas public library customers are increasingly requesting ebooks only to be informed that major publishers will not sell or lease requested titles to public libraries. It continues, whereas by denying public libraries access to ebooks and by making ebooks cost prohibitive, publishers have limited access to information to only those who can afford to purchase it. And it continues, whereas this issue should be fully examined and considered so that all children and adults have access to informational materials to enable all citizens to compete in the digitized global economy. So, I guess in its simplest form, basically, you're trying to provide what people could get at a bookstore for a cost for free.
Well, as a card holder, we provide access to lots of digital content, including ebooks, as well as downloadable music, movies, and audiobooks for all ages. And we're saying that no, not everyone can buy that content as an independent citizen. Yeah. Or there's lots of, you know, I don't know about you, but I reference books all the time, and I don't necessarily want to invest in those. I take pieces of information from here and there and different stories if I'm reading fiction. And so really, if you want an educated community and an engaged community, we're tapping on a lot of resources, and the library helps people do that.
Talk us through, and I know we've done this before in the past, talking about just the technology that is out there, and you are inundated with people who are trying to get material from an e-perspective, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
So people are jumping on board the technology superhighway.
Oh my gosh, we are just hopping, and it's so exciting because the library's been involved with e-content since about 04, 05. So we've been engaged in that evolution for such such a long time, really. And really, we've kept up with all the formats for many, many years, as you know. And so it's so exciting to see people discover this content through us, through the library, and it's free for cardholders.
When we were talking here before we came on today, I mean, there were things that I didn't realize that were available that you can get through the library system.
Yeah.
You're talking music, you're talking magazines, newspapers, and of course books.
Yes.
How does one go about finding this stuff?
Well, the best place to start is probably visiting ToledoLibrary.org and checking out our e-media page. And that's where you can discover, for example, our downloadable ebooks, downloadable audiobooks. A professional reader can read the story aloud to you. Or if you're commuting in the car, that's great fun. Or if you're a movie fan, there's a few resources for that. If you're a music lover, there's millions of songs that you can access for free from the library. So that's a great place to start. And right now, Jeff, we've got some things going on for the holiday buyers, as you mentioned. If you go to ToledoLibrary.org and check out popular topics, there's a great portion of the site right now that's called Tech the Season. I thought that was fun.
Sure.
And has a lot of resources for people trying to decide what gadget to invest in, and particularly the ones that will be compatible with the library's free resources.
Yeah.
So lots of options there.
When we get into our second segment, we're going to talk about some of those gadgets that are out and deciding if you go for this one, if you go for that one.
Right.
Tracy Montry also joining us today from the Toledo-Lucas County Public Library, the audiovisual department manager there. When you look at this resolution that's before the Senate concurrent resolution number 22 that we read from, is this a matter of trying to get newer stuff quicker to folks? Because just like in the information society that we deal with, everybody wants the latest, greatest thing immediately. We've got to serve our public with news as quickly as possible. And I can remember going back, going to the library, wanting that newest, we'll use Stephen King again, wanting that newest Stephen King book, but you had to wait for it to come out. You had to wait for it to arrive at the library. It's not always going to be there right away. With this thing, is it a timeliness argument that the libraries are trying to put forth to the state?
It has a lot to do with equity. That one can.
How so? What do you mean by that?
Well, one can see that, for example, a title might be available via Amazon. And, well, I'm a dedicated library user. I'm going to hop over to the library site and get it that way through my favorite website, and or go to my branch and talk to my librarian about it. But that title's not yet available.
Sure.
Why? So it's the equitable access of those titles, and that it's libraries are being treated differently and perhaps misunderstood in that sense. It's also the idea that all of us are getting used to the fact that I can enjoy it in paper format, I can enjoy it in audio format, and I can enjoy it digitally. And a lot of people are juggling all of those at the same time.
I wanted to read off a couple of names, and for our audience at home, a couple of these I had never heard of before. You're probably going to correct me on pronunciation, but Hoopla, Freegal, Freegal, I knew it was coming, Zinio, Overdrive, I got that, nailed that down. 4 sites that are new or newer, but what are they all about?
Well, you could, in a sense, call them databases available through ToledoLibrary.org. Hoopla will provide you access to free full CDs, albums of music, also audiobooks, also free movies and television access, so that's great.
And you can get these all from home. Correct?
These are 24/7. And then certainly if you like to come in the library, we can show you how to get onto the services there as well, and sit you down and work with you on your tablet or other gadget and get you connected to all of these. Freegal stands for free and legal, which we think is very important at the library. And that's the entire Sony music catalog, including lots of indie labels for the music fan.
Yeah.
Zinio.
The anti-Napster, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, because libraries are all about legal access and paying those artists. So
Right.
yeah, absolutely. And Zinio will provide access to full color digital scans of lots and lots of really popular magazines. And Overdrive is our primary.
Not just covers, you're talking the full
the
magazine.
full magazines,
Yeah.
even the ads,
Yeah.
but it's the full magazine and searchable content, and let me tell you, great for tablet users.
Yeah.
And Overdrive is our primary provider of ebooks and audiobooks, also music and video.
Yeah. So as we get into this new realm, I mean, is this just people need to jump on board and be ready? Because slowly but surely, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, the library is going this route.
It's just another mode of access.
Okay.
So we don't want anyone to ever feel as though they're behind and that they're somehow remiss in keeping up with everything. We want to provide the options. We were talking about earlier before the segment that, gosh, everyone has a certain life stage and where you have certain priorities and you have one gadget that works for you at this time, and then maybe later in life another one fits the bill. So we want to find the right gadget for the right person at the right time.
Yeah, and that's where kind of this holiday gadget guide comes in for this season. We're going to talk on our next break. We're going to go to our break, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about this program that not only kind of fits people with their gadgets that they may already have, but kind of gets you in line with something that maybe you're thinking about going out and buying. How do you operate it? What do you do? And will it work with the Toledo Library? We'll talk about that on the other side. Stay with us.